What is going on, ICBA fans? My name is Frosty, aka the Alpha Like a Rock, and today I'm bringing you guys a double header week 9 and 10 battle recap. So week 9 was supposed to be released, I believe it was last week or the week before, and then week 10 was supposed to be released this last upcoming week. But unfortunately, I had some trouble getting the play times down and getting some actual time to record. My time schedule for recording is very, very limited due to my family, and my son is out of school, so it doesn't leave me a lot of time to record when he is awake. So when he is awake, I have to, do the dad thing. So, but here we are. I decided after doing this battle that I was going to do a doubleheader. I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to do a doubleheader for the last 2 weeks, and we're going to put up both battles in one video. So our week 9 battle is against JohnnyGB and his Oregon Duckletts, and our week 10 battle is against DarkDevil26 and his Marboro Mudsdales. So from this, you can see what I brought, and you can see what he brought. He brought Primarina, Jirachi, which I was pretty sure he was going to bring, the Garchomp, which I figured he was going to bring, the Jolteon was 50-50 on. He did bring the Mega Gyarados, and then he also did bring that Selgor. So I'm assuming the Selgor is a Spikes setup, Suicide Lead setup set. As you can see with my team, I am bringing, for the first time, I am bringing Stoutland. This is a Choice Scarf Stoutland. I am bringing a Rest Chesto Berry defensive Lando T. I'm bringing a Choice Banded Sneasel, a specially defensive, full specially defensive discharging and hex Rotom Wash, an Assault Vested Gudra, and a Z Sunny Day Heatran. So with that, let's get into the battle and let's see how we do. Let's see how it went. Now for this, it is pretty much playoffs or bust that we need at this time. Let me just turn the sound down on my headset a little bit. There we go. So for us, it is playoffs or bust. We need a win here and a win next week to guarantee the playoff spots. So we do need wins to guarantee this. So he opens up with Primarina, as I decide to open up with Heatran. I don't know if he knows what kind of Heatran this is that I've brought in, so I just decided to switch it out and go into Tide, as Tide is my best switch for this. In case he does not want to switch, but he actually stays in, goes for the Surf. I can also scout to see if this is Specs, and if this is Specs Surf, it damn near knocks me out, especially since I'm not especially defensive. And by that damage, I do see that it is Specs. So good call on his set to bring a Specs Primarina. That does do a lot of damage, but I eat that up with Tide. He cannot stay in. There's nothing he can do here. So I just decide I'm going to go for, I'm not going to go for the Volt Switch, but I'm going to go for the Burn, as I want to get the Burn going. And plus I can then Hex to do some extra damage. So I do nail the Will-O-Wisp here against this Jolteon as he brings it in. It was a good call on his part. If I go for the Volt Switch, then I can't, because I obviously can't. So here I am uncertain certain if it's Specs or if it is Life Orbed or possibly even Scarfed. I don't know what kind of set this is. So he just goes for the Toxic. Very good play on his part to have Toxic on this thing, as I do not have a Heal Bell to stop this from doing some damage. So here I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna do this. So I go for the Pain Split because I wasn't sure exactly what he was gonna do here. So it doesn't really do too much. I should have gone for the Hex, as Hex would have been the better option in the long run. So but it is what it is. I'm gonna start racking up some poison damage here. So here I'm just gonna keep going for attacks. So I believe on this next turn I go for the Hex on this next one. I see as he goes for the Volt Switch. I guess I should have gone for the Burn, just expecting him to go for the Volt Switch here. Then I could have burned whatever came in, which would have been nice, which would have been really nice to burn this Jirachi. So so with that, I just go for the Hex. It's gonna do super effective damage, but it's a nice clean 25%. Not too horribly much. If I had Burn, it would have done at least 35 to 40, which would have been better. So like I said, I really have nothing to lose since this thing is toxic and on timer. There's no point in me staying. So here he reveals he's going to set up the Stealth Rock. I still don't know if this thing is Scarfed. I doubt it is. So I don't see why it is. So I just go for the Willow just in case he's a physical variant, because if he is a physical variant, then I don't have to worry about it. And plus I can do lots of damage on the Hex on the next one. So so it's going good, as I'm getting burns passed around, and then the residual damage over time will definitely help. So I'm gonna survive one more hit and then probably die to Toxic on the next one. So I just decide to go for the I think on this one I decide to go for the Discharge. So as it doesn't really do anything because, like I said, I burned him, so his U-turns aren't going to do anything. So I go for the discharge here as he brings in a Selgor. So I'm hoping that if I get this, oh no, I go for Hex. That's what it is. I'm sorry, I thought I went for discharge. I think I go for discharge on the next turn. So this, I'm assuming that he wants to start hazard stacking me. He knows I have no defogger. I didn't bring a defogger or a spinner, so he knows that if he sets up hazards, they're there to stay permanently. So he does go for the spikes here, which is going to do lots of damage upon entries, especially since everything is on the ground after that. So I just go for the discharge, kind of hoping for the paralyzation, but I don't get it. It does suck, but I am going to die to Toxic here. Or I'm going to get close. Actually, I think I survive on 1. I do. I survive on 1. So I guess I could have switched out here, predicting that he was going to go for this U-turn, but you know, I could have gone for something else, but I just decided not to. I just decided to let him switch, and then I decided to let him switch first, let Rotom go, and then I can get the, what is it? I can get the advantage by bringing in something on top of this. Plus, he's also going to take that burn damage on Jirachi. So here I just decided I'm going to go into Toph. I still don't know if this is a full physical variant, but if it is, I'm not going to worry too much about it. So here I get the Intimidate. If it is full physical, he's not going to do any sort of damage to me, considering I'm full defensive and all of that. So I just decided I want to get my Stealth Rocks up as he actually reveals Icy Wind. The only physical move he had that he actually found out later was the U-turn. So it does do quite a bit of damage to my Toph, but I'm able to set up my Stealth Rocks, which is nice because all rocks are on side of the field, so everything is rocked up and ready to go. Plus, I also get another burn. I'm not gonna stay in here and take another Icy Wind. So I just decide I am going to switch out into Goobra because Goobra is rocking the Assault Vest, and even though it is an Icy Wind, it's still not going to do too horribly much damage, but after rocks and the layer of spikes, it's going to do a decent amount. But also, while getting my rocks up, the Excelgor dies upon entry now. So I now guarantee Excelgor's kill with those Stealth Rocks up, which is another reason why I wanted to get those up in the first place. So as it is, I'm getting this Jirachi pretty low. And I just decided, I believe here I decided to go for the Fire Blast. I know he's faster, and I'm actually gooey, so even if he were a physical variant to do damage, he would be slow. He'd be slowed down, which is another reason why I wanted to run gooey this week. So I believe I go for the Fire. I believe I go for the Fire Blast, yeah. It's either I go for the Fire Blast or I go for the Sludge. Yeah, I go for the Fire Blast on this turn. So I go for the Fire Blast. It does a decent amount of damage. Can't really do anything else to that. Here I just decide I am going to go for the Sludge Bomb, as he actually reveals he's faster than me. So he has some speed investments, but I eat that up because of my Assault Vest, and now he has to eat this Sludge Bomb, which he does not eat very well because considering he is not an Assault Vest. And I get the Poison too, which definitely helps because this thing is a huge pain in the A. And once it's out of the way, I have nothing really stopping. I don't really have that Primarina to stop me, and I know he can't kill me with another Surf, but he can bring me pretty low with it. So here I'm just going to eat the Surf, and I am going to kill this thing. I went for Fire Blast here. It was going to die to Poison anyways, but I went for Fire Blast in case he got cheeky and wanted to bring back in that, in case he expected me to go for a Sludge Bomb, and he wants to bring in the Jirachi to kind of counter it and save that Primarina. But luckily enough, that is, we don't have to worry about it. So here I am expecting Hidden Power Ice. I'm at 17 HP. I can't really do anything. I can't switch back in, so I'm just going to leave it in, sack it off, and get a free switch in to this Jolteon here. So, plus the burn is going to start racking up on this thing, which is definitely what I want. So here I go into Fajita. There's no point for me not to go into Fajita at this point. I believe he, after revealing Hidden Power Ice, I now know that I am safe to bring this thing in and set up my Sea Sunny Day. And also I can go for a Lava Plume should I want to. I believe he Volt switches. Oh no, he goes into a Selgor, and this is when I decide. This is when I see, you know, and we get the sack off on a Selgor. I think he was expecting a move, but here is when I just reveal my Z Sunny Day, and I get my speed boost. Now I outspeed his entire team, minus one thing. If he has Scarf Garchomp, I know he has a Garchomp in the back. I know I can't OHKO it, but I can at least do huge amounts of damage to weaken it. That's what I'm going for here, is I know I can't kill it. The only way I get nothing out of this is if he has a Scarfed Garchomp. When he brings this in, I'm like, okay, he knows I can't kill it in one shot, but I can severely weaken this thing. So I go for the Solar Beam, but he actually proves he's Scarfed. So I actually get outsped here, and because he is scarfed, which does suck for me because Heatran did quite a bit of work to this team. I guess what I could have done was I could have switched into Lando. I could have switched into Lando, then rested and got my Chesto Berry off, forcing this thing to switch without losing Toph. But I didn't want to lose my Z Sunny Day +1. So as it is, the only thing that would have been, it was a Scarf Garchomp. It's just the way that it is. Here he brings in the Gyarados, and I had forgotten actually that this thing was Mega Gyarados. So, so when I go for the rest here, and what is it? Yeah, no, I go for the rest. I get the Resto Chesto off. I'm also in the sun, so I don't have to worry about Waterfall too much because of that. Also, I'm full physically defensive, and he can't KO me with an Ice Fang, not unless he's at +1. So here I just decide I'm going to go for the Toxic as this thing Mega Evolves, and I'm assuming this is going to be a Dragon Dance variant because if it's not a Dragon Dance variant, I don't see why you would bring it. I mean, you could, but I don't see why you would want to bring it. So I am assuming that this is a Dragon Dance variant, which I am confirmed this. So immediately I get this thing put on a timer because of that. So here I go for the Toxic just to play safe and to guarantee this thing is on timer, and to also get the residual damage off, so I don't have to worry too much about it. So on this next turn, he either goes for the Ice Fang, which I then am a roll to survive, or he goes for the Waterfall, and I'm guaranteed. So he goes for the Waterfall here, and I'm actually guaranteed to survive this because he had forgotten the sun was up. So here I get a nice strong -1 Earthquake. If this was normal, this would have actually done a lot more damage. This would have put him actually within range to die to a poison on the next turn, which does suck, because it would have brought him with that poison damage, it would have brought him within range to die. But here the sun is gone. I have no switch into a +1 Waterfall, so Toph is now gone. There's nothing else I can do. So here he's definitely now within range of stuff. So here I am going to go into Mustache Ride, which is our Stoutland. So Stoutland comes in. Now the only way I outspeed is if he is adamant. If he is not adamant, he will KO me, but he will die on the next turn. But he actually is not adamant. So he is actually adamant. He is not jolly. He told me later that he was adamant, which is the reason why I outsped. So what I should have actually done was I should have gone for the Play Rough. I did have Play Rough on this thing, which Play Rough then would have put this thing hugely indifferent. I would have actually almost about O-code this Garchomp. But he still outspeeds me because his speed is faster. But I actually survived this at 2. But I'm going to die because of the crunch. I was kind of hoping that it would, give him a negative, defense, which would have been nice. Play Rough would have done more. But here I'm out of Mons. I'm down to just Shiva, and it's Choice Banded. So the only thing I can do to guarantee that I survive and that I get the kill on this thing is I have to go for the Ice Shard. There's nothing else I can do. He outnumbers me 3-0. The only thing now that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get it within range of everything. So I don't think he knows that I'm banded yet. I don't think he knows I'm banded. I didn't tell him until after, but here it's one of those things like if I had done the Hex earlier, this Jolteon would have been in range of being KO'd by this Ice Shard, to which then it would have been possibly a 1-0, but unfortunately he did not take that Hex damage earlier, which means he does survive it and he gets the Thunderbolt off, and we do lose the match 2-0. So we do take a loss to Johnny. This does at this point put us at 4-5. Now at this point it is down to 3. It's down to the playoffs look like this as of the end of week 9. There's Fralls, there's Tone, and there's Johnny. Those 3 are ahead of me. Every one of them is 4-5. I am at the bottom of the list because my differential is -8. I have a -8 differential, and they actually have better differentials than me. So now the only way we make the playoffs after this match is if one of them loses the next match. And I think Johnny actually was 4-4 because he still had a makeup week. He still has a makeup week. So going into week 10, I need Fralls to lose or I need Tone to lose. If one of them loses, we're in the playoffs guaranteed. Just the way that it is. Guaranteed if I win the next match. So if I lose the next match, we're out of the playoffs. We're out of the playoffs, and there's nothing we can do about it. So now we're gonna get to the next match. This was actually a really good match. This was let me just state this was me playing the best I could and me actually getting outplayed. So there was no RNG here, there was nothing there. It was just if I had done the hex earlier, I would have then KO'd that. It would have probably been a 1-0 loss instead of a 2-0 loss, because I could not guarantee. I couldn't KO the Jirachi from where it was, so it wouldn't have mattered. He just would have. I don't actually know if he would have had a move that would have done damage to me. I didn't actually check to see. I know he had U-turn, but he was so nerfed down that I probably actually could have actually KO'd him. I could have KO'd him with Ice Shard. So, I mean, I guess we could have possibly won. I don't really know for certain. But this was a good match. We both played well. Johnny played better, and he got the upper hand on me. So the one thing the big mistake I made was leaving in the Heatran to a possible Scarfed Garchomp. I should have scouted for the Scarf first. I could have brought Heatran back in. I could have at least got a couple more attacks off on it. I think sacking Rotom by just leaving it in didn't help. But I mean, it could have. I think going for the play rough instead of that, but I didn't want a chance to miss, because if I missed, I lose anyways, and there's nothing I can do. Or I mean, the same outcome still happens, but basically, I guess what I should have done is I should have done that, because then I could have brought Jirachi in, and I actually could have gone for knockoff. That's what I should have done. If I hit the play rough, I kill that. I play rough the Jirachi. Jirachi still lives, kills this thing. No. They both died at the same time. No. Oh, never mind. I don't kill it. I don't think I kill it. I think it still has enough defenses that I don't kill it. So, but it is what it is. So Johnny played well, played very well. We have to be on our A game for the next match, and we've already got the next match out. So I'm gonna bring it up, which is gonna be a little bit different, because I have to set everything up, because the next match against DarkDevil26 was very long. So in order to not sit here for 30, to not have an hour-long video to edit, I had to shorten the video. So I had to pretty much speed up the video, because there was a lot of turns. So give me just a minute, let me set everything up, and then we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back, and here it is, the last match of our doubleheader against Brendan, aka DarkDevil26, and his Marboro Mudsdales. Now, like I said before, this match is very long, so I had to actually fix some stuff with my OBS to make sure that I could record it properly, because I actually had to speed the video up. So the video is going to move very fast, so if it seems very chaotic, that's because this was a very, very long battle. It went to timer, so let me just put it that way. I believe it was 79 or 80 turns. I believe it was 79 turns. So it is very, very long. It is very long, but as you can see, he brings Silvally, Skarmory, Starmie, Umbreon, Hoopa Unbound, and Zygarde 10%. Immediately looking at it, Zygarde 10% is my biggest worry, because it can actually hit my Rotom because of 1,000 arrows. So I'm definitely worried about it. So with that, as you can see, my team, I brought a Choice Scarf Landorus. It is Choice Scarf Landorus T with U-Turn, Earthquake, Iron Tail, and Stealth Rocks. So that way I can bluff this. I can bluff a non-Scarf. I also brought a Ardelmize, our Titanic. Unfortunately, is not the one I wanted, or the one that I planned for this match. Just before the match, I actually realized that the one that was gen and given to me for this match was actually the wrong one, and the stats were wrong on it. So I had to go and I had to pull one out of my bank. So the one that I pulled out from a previous match, it was still an Assault Vest variant. It's Assault Vest with full, I think it's full defense and full HP, when it was supposed to be full attack and full HP. No, it was supposed to be full HP, full specially defensive, so it was supposed to really eat the special hits, but unfortunately I had to move with what I had to move with, and like I said, it happened like literally 2 minutes before this battle happened, so I had to switch it out on the fly, so I had to work with what I had to work with. I also brought Urza Scarlet, our Gardevoir. This is our Wish passing Urza Scarlet. It is full specially defensive, Wish, Protect, Heal Bell, and Moonblast. I did not run Healing Wish, not after the fiasco that happened with the last time I ran Healing Wish with the set. So there's no worries about this. I did not bring Toxic because I didn't feel Toxic was going to do anything in this match besides maybe Toxicking Hoopa. But I at this point I have Moonblast. I would have KO'd it with Moonblast. So there's no point. Like all the stuff I would want a Toxic, I can KO with Moonblast. So plus I don't want to synchronize it. via that Umbreon. So I felt that bringing just one attacking move was a better option. Plus, I didn't want to get stalled out should he bring Skarmory, and then all I have is Wish Protect and Heal Bell and no attacking move. So that was another reason there. I brought a physically defensive Rotom Wash with no recovery. There's actually no recovery other than leftovers. It has Foul Play for his strong offensive attacking Mons. Because I felt that was going to be the best one, especially if it brings Choice Banded Zygarde. Foul Play could OHKO it. It could one-shot it if it's like 70 some odd % because of the band. So I do have a chance of surviving it. So with that, I'm also rocking Will-O-Wisp, Volt Switch, and Hydro Pump. So I am rocking some moves there. I brought Specs Goodra this round, as Specs Goodra just gives no jokes. Specs Goodra with Draco Meteor, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave? I think it's Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb. It's Draco Meteor, Sludge Bomb, Muddy Water, because I thought he might bring his fire type, which he ended up didn't. So Muddy Water was a useless move, and Thunderbolt, which I almost didn't bring. I almost brought Fire Blast because of this, but looking at this team, I'm actually really glad I brought Thunderbolt, and you will see why. And then I brought Mega Scizor for the final battle, as he is rocking Bullet Punch, U-Turn, Swords Dance, and Roost. So this is a sustaining Mega Scizor, and because of it, I gave it full HP, full attack with an Adamant Nature, and then the other 12 HPs, I think, or like 4 or 8 into speed, just in case. So with that, like I said, it's a long video. I cut it down to a 20-minute video. So we're still going to be here for a little bit, but it's going to go quick. So let's get into the match. Let's see how we did. I gotta wait a few seconds for this thing to come up. So here we go. It's going to be very fast. So here we are. We're trying to challenge by Brendan. And I just decided I'm going to lead off with Top because it's Choice Scarf. I have no reasons not to, as he decides he's going to lead off with the Arceus, which here I thought it was Ice. So I'm really kind of worried about taking an Ice Beam. But I know I'm Scarfed, and I know that he's not because he's got the blue headpiece. So I just U-turn out, I get out, and I get into Tide as he actually reveals Parting Shot. So he Parting Shots out. Not sure what kind of set he was, what set of Lando I am, but I'm glad to get the damage on it as he goes into No Name here, which is I'm fine with. Now for this, I didn't want him Toxicking me, so I decided to status my own self by getting the burn. Because if he Toxics me, then I immediately have to go out and get it off. So here, I played it right. I get the burn onto this thing, and I'm actually happy about it. So I now am negating his leftovers. I'm negating my own, but I'm getting out here with Volt Switch because I see no reason to stay in. As I go into Urza Scarlet, I figure he can't really do anything. I don't see him going for a Toxic on this turn, but maybe he knows I'm going to switch out. Oh, no, he does know I'm going to switch out, so he goes for the Toxic. Smart move here on his part, but I don't need to because I have Heal Bell, so I am not all that worried about it. Plus, I get to Synchronize, so if anything tries to Toxic me, I will be able to Synchronize it back, which is very, very nice. So here, I don't mess around. I just actually am going to reveal the Heal Bell, and I'm going to get rid of all of this because I'm not sure what he wants to do, and I know Heal Bell will get rid of my Toxic, and I'll be able to get my 6% back if he doesn't go for a heal, if he doesn't go for an attacking move of some type. So I get rid of my burn up, but get rid of that, but I still keep this thing status, which means I am negating the leftovers from it. So with that, I am going to win this war because I am rocking Moonblast. He knows that, so he decides to switch out. He goes into Robot Chicken, which is a great move. This thing counters it very well. I am not for certain exactly what this thing wants to do. I don't know if it has Iron Head. Iron Head does do about 60%, so I decided to get out and get into Tide, as Tide is the best answer for this because I resist both Iron Head and Brave Bird depending on which one he's going to have, but he makes the double and goes right into Bingo. Now here I'm going to pause for a second because this is a very, very key moment in the match. I actually do the calcs. Being full physically defensive, if he is Choice Banded, he has a 6.3% chance to OHKO me. I am willing to take that risk. Now, I need this thing burned, so my immediate reaction is to go for the Will-O-Wisp. So that is what I do, as he does reveal the 1,000 arrows. Does hit me, I survive it. He does reveal also that he has Life Orb, so he actually had no chance at all. With that Life Orb, he actually stood no chance of OHKOing me, which I'm fine with. So as it is, I do get the Will-O-Wisp off, I do get it burned. I have now neutered Bingo. I am happy with neutering Bingo. So I'm going to take my 6%. And at this point, I'm going to get the hell out because I see no reason to stay in here because he still does 50% to me, even while burned. So I am out. I'm getting into my counter, which is going to be Titanic. Titanic eats this 1,000 arrows because now he's just neutral. Because one, it's resisted. Two, he's neutered by the burn. Plus, I'm going to get him to take the life orb and the burn. So I'm going to whittle this thing down. I don't. So here, I just decide I am going to. Oh, no, I make the aggressive double, and I actually go into Gudra on this one. Sorry, I'm still trying to remember. There were so many moves in this match. So I make the aggressive move, and I go into here. Here, I just decide I'm going to drop the Draco. I'm expecting to protect, but I'm going to reveal that I have the Draco Meteor. I want him to know that I have it, because I'm playing the mind game of okay, if you know this is Spec's Draco Meteor, what do you have for it? So here, I drop the Draco. I know it doesn't kill, but I can severely weaken this thing. As I do great chunks of damage, which is great. Now here I can KO it again, but he does get the Toxic off, but I'm not worried because I have the Heal Bell. Not worried about it. Gudra's fine. I got Heal Bell. I got Wish. I can get this thing back up. Gudra is my big major win con for half of this match. So here he is definitely low. I'm expecting him to switch out because I don't see him staying in, knowing that I could drop another Draco and KO him. So I decided to switch into Urza to maybe try and get a Heal Bell off. As he does make the switch, I do call it right, but he actually goes into Hoopa. So here I'm a little scared because I don't know if he has Gunk Shot. So I decide I'm going to play the Protect game because I want to see if he has Gunk Shot. So here I go for Protect. I'm not sure exactly what it wants to do, but he goes into Robot Chicken. So I'm sorry, I had to pause for a little bit because I do realize I sped it up, but it's... I gotta explain what I gotta explain. So here, I'm still not for certain whether it has Iron Head or Brave Bird, and I don't want to take an Iron Head. I don't want to take any damage. So I just decide I'm gonna go into Gurren because I can set up on this thing. As he goes for Stealth Rock, so I'm like, okay, that's good, that's fine. This thing can't do anything to me. I can set up the +6 and Oko his entire team. I can win this war against this thing. So I go for the Sword Stance, but he makes the great planning move and has Whirlwind. But it also shows me one thing. I am also faster than that thing. So that's very key information to know. But he actually drags out Gudra, which is great for me because it sucks because I do take the toxic damage, but I force the switch here because I'm going to reveal that I have Thunderbolt. I want him to know that I have it. I want him to know that it is not okay. I could have just dropped a Draco here and I would have obliterated this thing, but he would have got the free switch. But I don't really care because I want him to know I have the Thunderbolt. I want him to be scared of the Thunderbolt. So here I just decide to switch right back into Titanic because if he goes for the 1,000 arrows, I'm completely fine. But he doesn't. He actually goes for Hidden Power, and I don't know if it was Ice or if it was Hidden Power Fire. I'm uncertain about that. I gotta ask him, but I do get a little bit more of the thing here. So I just decide I'm actually going to Rapid Spin these rocks away. And this actually does show me he's rocking the Rocky helmet. So I was pretty sure when I saw him take damage and not have any leftovers recovery, so I was pretty sure it was a Rocky helmet to begin with, but this now gets me thinking that he's going to start doing some stuff. But I switch into Rotom because Rotom forces the switch here, plus I want to get in and get my leftovers before the rocks damage starts coming into play. So here I'm forcing the switch. I go for the Hydro, expecting him to switch because this will KO Bingo from this range, but I missed the Hydro Pump. Now that does suck because as it is, I'm gonna be forced to switch out. But I have to say that does suck missing that Hydro Pump because if I hit the Hydro Pump, I kill it, I get that, and then I get to see what he gets to bring in. So I guess it was kind of a good thing in hindsight later on, and I'll explain why. But here he comes in, he's gonna take the burn. As I'm gonna switch out, I'm gonna go into Urza. I know I can eat 1,000 arrows. I'm not too horribly worried about it. But with rocks and 1,000 arrows, I'm gonna take quite a bit of damage. Enough to where I think he just about 2-hit KOs me. But he is also going to take Life Orb and burn damage, which is fine by me because, like I said, once this thing is out of the way, I don't have to worry too much about it. So here I just decide I can't guarantee that I would survive the 1,000 arrows, so I protect in order to guarantee my survival as he goes for the Hidden Power, which was, I guess he was trying to catch me on the switch. Maybe he thought I was going to switch into Scizor. I mean, great move on his part, but no. So here, I'm just going to Wish because I want to reveal that I have it. Plus, I can get my HPs back up. I'm not worried because he's going to burn himself down, and I'm not going to have to worry too much about that. It's because after this burn, he does not survive another burn. So he does not survive another burn damage at this range. So here, I'm just going to let him die to his own burn, but he actually switches out and goes right into Robot Chicken. As I protect and it fails, but I do get my Wish and I do get my leftovers recovery, which is nice. Now here I do some things. If he has Brave Bird, he will do decent damage, but he won't kill me. But if he has Iron Head, he will do decent damage, but still won't kill me. So I decide to wish. As he actually reveals Brave Bird, this is great for me because while it is staff, it still does great damage. He is also weakening himself in the process. So plus I also reveals that I am still faster than this thing. So it's great that Urza can actually wish stall out this thing. And I can actually wish stall. So he goes for the kill, which is a smart move on his part, but I'm pretty sure he knew that I was going to go for the protect there. So here I'm kind of stalling this thing out, but I still haven't seen its third set. I know it has Whirlwind, it has Brave Bird, and it has Stealth Rocks, but here he reveals the fourth move, which is Roost. Now I know that this battle is going to be a very long battle because we have ways of recovering, and I can't do enough damage to outdo the Roost damage. So here I just decided I'm just going to keep going for some Moonblast. I'm going to get some chip damage, and plus also I'm going to get a crit there, but I'm going to get him to potentially weaken himself down. And plus I know he has Rocky Helmet, and so I don't want to worry too much about that, but I want to weaken him down because I also know he has Sturdy, so I want to make sure that. So here I just decided I'm going to keep going for Moonblast. I don't see him going for another Brave Bird because if he goes for Brave Bird and it does a lot of damage, he can kill himself. So I was expecting him to Roost here. As he does. So here I believe I go for another one as I'm now back at full HP, which I'm happy about. I decide I'm going to go for another Moonblast, and I'm going to go and get this thing as I'm expecting him to go for a Whirlwind soon. I think on this next turn I expect him to go for Whirlwind, or maybe he goes for another Roost. So I go for another Moonblast as I want to weaken him, so that way if he brings in something like, I don't know, anything at this point, I could just kill it. So, but he roosts back up to full HP. Now that I know he's at full HP, I decide to wish because I want to wish pass into something knowing that the Whirlwind is coming. So, so he does Whirlwind, but luckily enough, we get tied, which is great because this is exactly who I would want to wish pass into. I want to wish pass into this, plus it forces the switch. So at this point, I decide to go for Will-O-Wisp because if I Will-O-Wisp and I burn it, he can't do any physical damage to me, and I can wall him out with Urza. I can literally wall him out with Urza. So it's great because he does bring in Bingo. Bingo does die to burn, but I do get the wish into this thing, which is great because now that he's back up to a decent amount of HP, I can still use him. So here he brings in Hoopa. I go for another Will-O-Wisp because I need to neuter this thing because I'm not sure if it's physical, showing here that he has his knockoff that he is physical. This is great because now I have neutered Hoopa on Bound, which is a big count, which is his second big counter to my entire team. So here I decided to switch out. I'm gonna go into Urza. I know another knockoff is coming, but he's burned. You know, it's neutral damage to me. I'm not worried about it, but God, does that do a lot of damage? Even though he's burned. So I have nothing here for this. So he doesn't want to stay in, chancing that I'm faster. So he goes back into Robot Chicken as I go for the protect. Here I just decide I'm gonna sack off Urza. I need to get a wish off. I need to get it back into Goodra, as Goodra will pretty much is my win con for the remainder of the match. It was either that or I sack off Tide, and I needed Tide. I needed Tide for this. So I just decided I'm going to go into Goodra. I'm going to take the rocks damage. If he switches in, you know, he has nothing that stops me from going for Thunderbolt. So he goes in and he decides to sack off his Umbreon, as I just, like I said, I'm Specs Thunderbolt. I have no reasons not to click that Thunderbolt, as I actually later on find out that his Silvally is Water Silvally. So that is another main reason why I just click Thunderbolt. So he brings in Hoopa, and I'm like, okay, I'm not too worried about it. As now, this is the thing. Sorry, I had to pause it right here. He brings in Hoopa. I'm expecting this thing to go for any sort of physical attacking move, as you know, Goodra's defenses are not the greatest. Now, as you can see, I'm going first. I actually outspeed this Hoopa. I didn't think I actually had enough speed to outspeed this Hoopa, but this thing does take a clean 45%. Plus, he's burned already, and he's taken Life Orb damage. So this is going to be a 2-hit KO no matter what. This is a big point in the match because, as it is, I hit the Thunderbolt, but he then reveals and actually goes for Fire Punch, expecting me to switch out. So this was a great over prediction on his part. This is great for us because he over predicted on that, and I take literally no damage. Plus, next turn I am going to guarantee kill this Hoopa, which means his two biggest wall breakers in Hoopa and Zygarde are gone. He has nothing. Plus, I still have Goodra. I still have my Goodra to wall break his walls. And then his Skarmory gets 1-hit KO guaranteed by that. So I don't have to worry too much about that. So I just go for a Thunderbolt. I'm getting rid of this Hoopa. Goodra picking up two KOs. Awesome, Goodra. Love you. Thank you for all the work you're putting in. So here goes into Patrick. Now, I forgot he had this stupid Starmie, and I'm like, crap. I do the calcs. Psyshock as a KO from this range. I cannot kill it. So I unfortunately am forced to switch out. So I decide to switch out into Tide, as I'm just going to sack off Tide and get a free switch into my Choice Scarf Lando, because I can one hit KO this thing. He does actually have Psyshock. I wasn't sure if he would have Psyshock or if he would have Psychic. Psychic, I guarantee live it, but Psyshock, it was a roll, and it was a better roll in his favor. So here I just get into Toph, and I'm going to go for the U-turn. There's no reason for me not to, in case he leaves it in, but he actually brings an Arceus, which is good because I'm going to get some more chip damage on this thing. And not only do I get chip damage, I actually get a crit, which is definitely, it helps. So here I go into Gurren, and as I'm like, crap, I'm pretty sure I can kill it from this range. So I go for the Bullet Punch, but it is much bulkier than I thought, or he's full HP invested, as I do miss out on the kill, as I do know the Flamethrower is coming. He does have the Flamethrower. Here is the biggest prediction on my part. I go for Roost here, because I'm expecting him to go into Robot Chicken, expecting me to Bullet Punch, go for the kill. I predicted he would switch here, because I predicted he wouldn't go for the second Flamethrower. I predicted he would not sack this thing if I go for the kill. So I decide I'm going to go for the Roost, because if I go for the Roost, then I increase its longevity, plus I get the upper hand momentum-wise. So here I make the prediction. He does go into that Skarmory. As I make the prediction, I go for the Roost. It was a huge play on my part. It was like the biggest point of this match that definitely gave me a lot of momentum. As I go for the Bullet Punch here, as I want to kind of weaken him down a little bit. I know the Whirlwind is coming, because I just know it's coming. I'm hoping to get into Goodra again, but it actually drags out Toph. So I'm like, crap. At this point, there's only one way I can win this. I have to get the match to be Skarmory versus Scizor. Scizor wins the match as soon as he can't Whirlwind me out, because I can get to +6 Bullet Punches do 45%. So yes, I won't win, but I can actually Roost stall him out. I can get him to run out of Roost and then kill him. So here I just decide, you know what? Let's go for the Stealth Rocks. Let's get the Stealth Rocks up. I need the Stealth Rock damage. So let's get that up. So I decide to just set up my Stealth Rocks as he goes for the Brave Bird here. There's nothing else to do really. I do take some clean damage, but he's at a -1. Here I just decided I'm going to switch out. I'm going to switch back into Gurren. If he goes for the Brave Bird, it's not a kill, but he actually goes for the Whirlwind, which is good here. I'm kind of hoping, but I get Titanic dragged out this time. Like, crap. So here I decide I'm just going to sack it off. I'm going to go for the Shadow Claw, but he actually outspeeds me, which is good because while it will KO me, he'll take the recoil damage due to the KO, which is good because that puts him in range, plus gives me a free switch, which I guess I could have gone into that, but I wanted to get my Gurren back up in case I got an unfavorable matchup. So I wanted to get the Roost off in order to get the better thing here, as I'm expecting him to Roost. So here he gets back up to full HP. Just to guarantee that he no longer has the Sturdy, I go for the Bullet Punch just because I want to break that Sturdy. So that way if I get Goodra brought in, I force the switch immediately. Unfortunately, I get Toph dragged back out again. I'm like, crap, are you kidding me right now? So I just decide I'm going to just U-turn. I'm going to do what little damage I can, and I'm basically using that Rocky Helmet to whittle myself down on Toph, so that way I get the switch to Goodra, because Goodra can take that thing out. His last 3 mons are weak to electric, so anything I bring in is going to die. Anytime I get anytime I get Goodra in, it's a free Thunderbolt, and something is going to die. Something is going to die, and that's the whole point. So here I go for the Roost. I'm just keeping myself back up at full HP. He also puts himself back at full HP, but like I said, I'm going for the Bullet Punch. I need to break that Sturdy. I need to make sure I can kill him. So here he goes for, I believe he goes for the Whirlwind again? Yeah, he goes for the Whirlwind again, and I believe this time finally we get Goodra dragged out, which is good because it sucks because we're going to take the Rocks damage, plus I'm going to take some Toxic, so now I cannot switch out. I have to stay in on Goodra, but he has to now sack something off because he has nothing that takes this thing here. So as it is, he just sacks off the Arceus. It dies to Rocks. It was dying anyways. It was going for the Thunderbolt. So Lando's Rocks pick up some stuff. So here I'm left at 28 HP. I'm not switching out. There's no point for me to switch out. I need this thing to die. So he goes for the Ice Beam. It kills me here. I believe this time I go into Toph because, yeah, I go into Toph because he knows I'm Scarfed. So Here I decide to play against him. He probably thinks I'm gonna go for the U-turn, and he wants to just kill me off on the Rocky Helmet. But I actually click Iron Tail this turn because I figured he was gonna switch out. While it wouldn't have done any real damage to that, it would have weakened him to the point Bullet Punch would have killed it. So at this point, I do miss the Iron Tail, but I do not miss this. I do not miss this Iron Tail, which I was kind of hoping for the defense drop, because if the defense drop comes through, I am golden. So now it is Scizor. Scizor has the world on his back. Scizor has the world on his back right now. So I come in. I'm gonna take this rocks damage. I'm gonna put at 100 HP. So here he makes a great play. Sorry, I'm gonna just do this for you. So here I make a small misplay. There was 2 moves I could have done. I could have predicted the switch and gone for the U-turn and KO'd this thing immediately on entry. Or I go for the Swords Dance. If he goes for a roost and I go for the U-turn, then I take unnecessary damage and I immediately have to rest up. I immediately have to roost up next turn. So at this point, I just decided to go for the sword. I decided to go for the Swords Dance in case he wanted to try to preserve differentials and all of this. But no, he actually makes the switch and goes to Patrick, and I'm like, great. While I'm at +2, I don't have to be at +2 to KO this thing with a U-turn. So, as it is, at this point in the match, I'm pretty much accepting the fact that I'm pretty sure this thing has Hidden Power Fire. If it has Hidden Power Fire, I will die, and I will lose the match 2-0, and our playoff hopes go out of the way. So, at this point, I have nothing to lose. I click U-turn, it's a guaranteed KO, and if I happen to survive the Hidden Power Fire, then I will have a great momentum, considering that I am faster than his Skarmory. I'll be able to roost up on the next turn, and I'll be able to actually go 1v1 via that thing. So as it is, he actually goes for the Hydro Pump, revealing later that he actually didn't have Hidden Power Fire. He had Psyshock, but Psyshock was resisted. He has Hydro Pump, and then he has the other one. Here he told me he was expecting me to go for the Bullet Punch because he's actually analytic, and if I had gone for the Bullet Punch, he would have KO'd me, because that did not KO. He's not Life Orb, he's Colbur Berry. He told me this later. He said he wished he was Life Orb, because Life Orb actually would have given him enough damage to just about KO me. It would have been a roll, but a good roll in his favor. He would have KO'd me there, and then he would have won the match 2-0. But here, he didn't know what my second move, he didn't know what my second attacking move was. He thought maybe it might be knockoff. So even if he doesn't kill, if I don't kill him, I can pretty much guarantee this. He can pretty much, like I said, he was expecting me to do Bullet Punch, so Analytic would have kicked in and made us attack stronger and KO'd me, but that didn't happen. So here I go for the U-turn, I KO it. Now I have the match I want. I have Skarmory versus Scizor, and I can win this match, guaranteed, every time. So here I'm roosting. There's no point not to. I need to roost and get to +6, because at +6 I have more Bullet Punches than he has Brave Birds and Roosts. So I can literally Bullet Punch him down to the point where I can get him to blow every single roost that he has. And for the next, I think it's 15 turns, this is the entirety of the match, is Scizor basically roosting up and him roosting up to see who's going to get it. Who's gonna win out on this match? Now, if he had Iron Head, I would have won this match guaranteed, because he had nothing. Iron Head would have been so resisted that he wouldn't have done literally any sort of damage to me. But those Brave Birds hit hard, and they do. So I'm getting myself back up. I'm always making sure that my HP is never within crit range of a Brave Bird, because I am not chancing any sort of crit Brave Bird at all, not one. So I have to be over just about, I believe it's 80 or 90 HP to guarantee that a crit doesn't kill me. So here I'm at +6. I'm starting to do 45%. As you can see, the Brave Bird does from 117 to 72, so it does 50. So I have to make sure that I'm above 75 to 80 HP to guarantee that I don't get crit on a Brave Bird and killed. So so he goes for the roost, and as it is, I'm basically roost stalling him out. Now, excuse me. Now this is the big thing. This happens around the last 8 minutes of the match. Dark actually admits to me that we talked after the match. He admitted to me to timer stalling a bit. Why? Because I understand why. He wants the win. His playoff spot is guaranteed already. He's already in the playoffs. Ours is the only one on the line. But his positioning in the playoffs matters. If he loses, then I think he drops to number 3 instead of number 2. So as it is, he does admit to me to timer stalling because he wants to win the match. And you know what? I understand that. I understand the fullness of wanting to win the match. Because as it is, I sacrificed 2 Mons. Actually, I sacrificed 3 just to get this matchup. Just to get the Skarmory versus Scizor matchup. I sacrificed 2 Mons to do it. So, as it is, we keep going back and forth, and I'm sorry, I need to see how much time is left in this. Okay, so like I said, it's a 20-minute video, so I'm looking at the time to see when everything is going to happen. So there's about a minute left of all the battles, but like I said, we went to time. But he said in the end he didn't feel right about the timer stalling, but I told him I understood why he did it. I do remember sending him a message during the match and asking him not to timer stall me, because some of the moves were taking really long, and I think there was a point where we did 3 turns in like 5 minutes, and at that point I sent him a message that said, please don't timer stall me. I said if anything, if we're going to win, then you win, but if you're going to lose, at least, you know, please don't timer stall. You know, I understand why people do it, but it's still one of those things that's highly frowned upon. You know, timer stalling is still kind of frowned upon. But it is what it is. So here, I believe this is the last play of the match. It's either this one or the next one. I think it's this one. This is the last play. Now, is this the last play? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to rewind the video a little bit so you can see. Let me see here. So, okay, yeah. So, hold on, let me go back a little bit. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, this is the last turn. I know this is the last turn because the battle timer ran out. Now this is the scenario. Look in my head. I kill this thing with Bullet Punch very, very easily. It's within range. He has no more roosts. I'd been keeping track of the roosts, and actually we were talking in the last 5 minutes of the match, and he asked me how many I had, and I asked him how many he had. You know, I answered his question. You know, he asked me how many I had. I said I had about 10 roosts left, and he said he had about 2. Because as you can see, you know, he's used a lot more roosts than I have. I've had to force him to use them. So it comes down to this match now. Bullet Punch kills. +6 Bullet Punch kills this range. Now, I could do it. I could kill him. My victory now at this point is guaranteed, because I could kill him. But I show mercy to my opponent, and I actually go for Roost, expecting him to Brave Bird, because I will still win the match by HP, because I have more HP than he does. Even after taking a Brave Bird, I will still have more because of the recoil. So here I decide to show mercy to my opponent and Roost, allowing us to have a 1-1 victory. He doesn't lose any rating. I don't lose any rating. I don't have any sort of I don't lose anything. He doesn't lose anything. So there we go. In the end, there we go. I'm gonna pause it. Leave it. So there we go. So in the end, we take a victory over Dark in 79 turns. Very long battle, and in the end, I show mercy to my opponent by not going for the kill. So with this, we are 5-5. If Tone, Johnny, or Fralls loses, we are in the playoffs guaranteed. Now, at this point in time when this video is coming out, Fralls has had his match. He won. He is in the playoffs guaranteed. Johnny got 2 forfeit wins. He is guaranteed and takes number 2. Yeah, he takes the Division 2 title. So he takes the Division 2 title at 6-4. Now our playoff hopes lie on one match, which is the Colorado Mamoswine versus the Maine Red Clodsers. If Tone loses, we are in the playoffs. If he wins, we are out of the playoffs. As it is, it all hinges on whether he wins or loses. If he wins, he's guaranteed because his differential is better than mine. If he loses, his actual rating, or not his rating, his actual win-loss ratio is worse than mine. So as it is, it comes down to one thing. So at this point in time, it is one match that decides everything, and that is going to be Tone versus Eric, or Neon Zeon, or was it Neon Zeon? Yeah, the Colorado Mamoswine Cubs. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it was very long. Sorry I had to pause and do all of this, and this is going to be a very, very long video, but if you stayed this way, please thank you so much for watching the doubleheader. I know this one was very long, so as it is, I don't know for certain now if we're in the playoffs. The playoffs are uncertain at this point. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. And if you see another one, that means we made the playoffs. And hopefully we will get to make the playoffs. Looking at it right now, if we were to go into playoffs right now, it's going to be Frawls versus whoever wins, me or Tone. So as it is, if Tone loses, we will battle Frawls again, to where I will definitely want redemption for losing to Frawls earlier in the season. So hopefully that'll be the case, because the way that the playoffs are set, Merc, who is 10-0, he has the bye week this week, so he will not have to play the first round. I will have, if I win. Sorry, let me rephrase that. If I get into the playoffs, I have to battle Frawls, to which then the winner of me and Frawls, or Tone and Frawls, has to battle Merc. So as it is, this is possible that if we win, if we get the playoff spot, that if we beat Frawls, we get redemption there. We could possibly get redemption on our RNG bad luck that happened with Merc way earlier in the season. So, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe if you did. I will see you in the next video. And all right, have a good day. Bye.